Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. We are very excited to have you here for our Q4 product update webinar for Partner. We're very glad to have you joining us, and hopefully you will learn some great new information about the new and exciting things happening here at Avalara. My name is Courtney Drake. I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Before we dive into the meat of the presentation, just a couple of things I want to go over. I do have our safe harbor statement up on the screen. Please take a moment to review that while I continue with some additional housekeeping items. First and foremost, we are recording today's webinar, so if you would like to listen to it again or share it with a colleague, you will receive a link to that within the next 24 hours. And then the console that you're looking at can be completely customized. So all of those windows that you see, feel free to move them around on your screen or resize them by dragging on the corners. The slides can also be resized, like I said, by dragging on the corners, or you can download your own copy by clicking on today's slides in the additional resource section down at the bottom of the console. We have a couple of different features for you today if you'd like to interact with us. So there is a Q&A box over on the right-hand side of the console. So if you have any questions for our presenters that you would like us to cover live, go ahead and use that Q&A box over on the far right. We'll get through as many answers as we can. We do have some of our team members joining us on the back end to respond to questions individually. And then we also have time for live Q&A throughout today's presentation. So if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in. And then we're also giving you the option to network or chat with other webinar attendees today. So down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little icon that looks like 2 chat bubbles. Go ahead and click on that, and that will bring up today's attendee chat. So maybe to kick us all off, go ahead and let us know where you're listening in from. I'm joining today from Seattle, Washington. And then there is also a question mark icon down at the bottom. If you have any technical issues, go ahead and click on that, and that will take you through some frequently asked questions to resolve those issues. All right, next up, we always have to add this disclaimer that Avalara cannot provide legal tax advice, so just keep that in mind as you're asking any questions today. Try to keep them broad and general, otherwise we won't be able to answer them. All right, enough with all of that. Let's dive in and meet our 2 presenters today. So today, happy to be joined first off by Melissa Mullet. She is a Senior Product Marketing Manager for our accountant solutions here at Avalara. Melissa, great to have you. Do you want to say a quick hello?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm excited to join you. I've been at Avalara for 2 years, and I'm looking forward to giving you some Avalara for accountant updates and product updates coming soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. And next up, we have Prashant Rana. He is also a Senior Product Manager, and he covers emerging e-commerce integrations here at Avalara. Prashant, great to have you.
Yeah, great to be here, Courtney, and thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, I'm Prashant. I've been in Avalara for the last 2 years as well, and have been primarily working on our Shopify integrations, among other e-commerce integrations.
Awesome. Wonderful to have you both. I muted myself instead of going to the next slide. So we just have 2 main things that we'd like to cover today. First off, we're going to dive into the Avalara integration within Shopify Tax Platform. And then we're also going to be going over Avalara Managed Returns for accountants and even our Nexus report. So those are the 2 main things. It's going to be a short and sweet session, but like I said, we do have time for questions throughout. So if you have any, go ahead and either pop them in the chat or use that Q&A box. So with that, Prashant, I'm going to pass it over to you to kick us off with Avalara for Shopify.
Great, thank you. And great to be here presenting for Avalara for Shopify. This is a new integration that we launched earlier this year for all of our merchants who are on Shopify. If you can move to that, so this is a new integration which is available on the Shopify tax platform. This is something that we have built in collaboration with Shopify, and we are constantly evolving this one. As some of you might be aware that Avalara had an integration with Shopify earlier, and this one is an upgrade to that. It's an entirely new platform though, built on an entirely new different technical stack and the new methodology altogether, which allows us to own this application, and hence it is now built, sold, and supported directly by Avalara. Of course, we collaborate with Shopify on building features and making updates to this entire end-to-end process. A key part over here is that this is now available for Shopify users on any plan. The previous integration was limited to the Shopify Plus customer ecosystem only. Now this is available to Shopify users on any plan. So by this, we are able to cover the breadth of various business sizes, and you do not have to be on the Shopify Plus plan necessarily to take advantage of Avalara's tax services. Or if you are already using it, now you can choose to integrate those over here as well. As I said, this replaces the legacy Avatax for Shopify Plus connector. So in Shopify, it used to be called as Avalara Avatax, and a new application called Avalara Tax Compliance has taken its place. The legacy connector will be deprecated as of April 2025. So we are also encouraging customers to move to the new connector as quickly as possible. We have been working hard to ensure that moving to the new application is as quick and easy as possible, and those things are available as you go ahead and choose to move to the new connector. All right. So what's new? Why this new connector? Apart from, of course, the new platform that I spoke about, and it's now available to Shopify users on any plan, built and maintained by Avalara. It's also sold by Avalara like all your products. So you do not have to engage in a separate contract with Shopify as you had to do for the Shopify Plus connector. So this is entirely built and sold by Avalara, and you would be transferring over to Avalara for a single billing for like any other Avalara service. We also will be providing direct support and continuous improvements that will be provided from the Avalara end, as many customers have come to expect from Avalara. So those updates, we have a little bit more flexibility in those cases, and we can try to achieve many of those enhancements as we go forward. One key point to note here is what will remain the same if merchants are switching from the old integration to the new one. Their Avatax settings will remain the same. So this is what we have been working hard to ensure that, even if you switch applications, as long as your Shopify store and your Avatax is kind of configured, you're just switching the connection. Think of it, you're just switching, just the wires between two points, and you're just saying just the wires change. The rest of the settings and the connections kind of remain the same. Of course, there's a little bit of configuration involved, but none of those impact your taxation settings, your any configuration that you may have done on Avatax or either on your Shopify side. So we have been working very hard to ensure that just the switch is does not impact any current Avatax settings. All right. Moving on. So what are the new features over here? What are the features for Avalara for Shopify that we have seen getting customers excited about? Partial refunds. So this has been a big piece of feedback that we have been getting over quite some time, that hey, we need to be able to support partial refunds. So in this version, we do support partial refunds against against items in an order. So say you have an order and you have placed a customer of yours has placed an order for 5 items, and you refund one of them. We have built in collaboration with Shopify, like if you return that one item or you refund that one item, as long as you select that item, those refunds will be captured and recorded accordingly. So that's something that we have captured as part of this connector as well. Global tax calculation. So now we support value-added tax, especially B2B VAT, which was a big ask of us previously. So now, if based on certain configuration and B2B VAT is also supported in this new connector. exemptions. So exemption management, as some of you might be aware, ECM, Exemption Certificate Management, is a separate product from in addition to Avatax. And here we have gone ahead and integrated that product into the Shopify experience as well. So here merchants will be able to manage some aspects of exemption right from within their Shopify interface, and then do deeper management within ECM. So we are trying to take some of the tasks away and make it easier for you to manage exemption certificates right from your Shopify interface, and then of course extend that exemption certificate application into transactions downstream. Of course, this requires a separate ECM subscription to be added on to your Avatax subscription. And finally, item and product sync. Item and product sync is basically one key area which also was a feedback in our previous iteration, where customers would sometimes need to maintain two disparate sources of truth when it comes to the product catalog. And in this version, by virtue of a setting, merchants can now choose to have a daily sync of their items in their product catalog on Shopify to Avalara. Avalara will not pull all the data, but only the necessary data that can be used for application of things like Avalara product tax codes and other areas of description, so that you can do deeper tax item management within Avalara. But a key pain point here for merchants was before they had to export the item catalog out as a flat file, reconfigure that flat file, and re-upload. We've taken that aspect away, and it's also looking for constant and daily syncs. Another point to note is this feature is being improved upon as additionally to include many more parameters. This is also something that we have considered in our future roadmaps, and we are working towards that. And all of these features will be going through a lot more iterations as we go ahead into the next year. All right. And working alongside with Shopify, we have tried to keep this as simple as possible. It is just another app. So as many of the Shopify merchants will know, Shopify works with an app system, very robust and robust app system. We are now part of that. However, this is not within the App Store area yet, and this is within a specific area of taxes and duties within the settings section on your Shopify admin, where you will find Shopify the Shopify tax settings, and you can go and get the Avalara application right there. At this point, we would like to show you a quick video as to how this entire process works after you find this application within your Shopify admin view. So Melissa, if you can just queue up the video for this for the folks to see.
After you purchase Avalara for Shopify, the next step is to install the connector and link your online store to Avalara. Start by signing into your Shopify account. If you have more than one Shopify store, select the one you want to connect. Go to your settings and select Taxes and Duties. Scroll down to the Apps section and select Install for the Avalara Tax Compliance app. Review the information and install the app. Tell us if you want to connect to your production or sandbox environment. Sign in to Avalara. Select Show All Settings. Let's take a look at the connector's default configuration. Under Tax Calculation, we show you the Avalara company your online store is connected to along with its company code. If you change it to another Avalara company linked to your user ID, be sure its location settings are correct. Save transactions in Avalara for reporting means that when some or all of the products in an order have been sent to the customer, we calculate the tax and save those transactions in AvaTax. This way, transaction information will be included in your AvaTax report information, and you can reconcile your Shopify account with AvaTax. If you change it to no, we'll calculate the tax and send it to Shopify, but you won't have a record of your Shopify transactions in AvaTax. Some transactions may include a tax on the cost to ship the product. This may occur when a customer places an order with you, but another company fulfills the order. If a transaction is missing a tax code for the shipping cost, we'll use the generic FR shipping code. If you change it to something else, be sure it's a valid Avalara tax code. Under Other Settings, Sync Products with Avalara set to No means that your product catalog stays in Shopify. If you change it to Yes, we'll add your Shopify items to Avalara, including the tax codes mapped to items if available. We'll do a daily check for new active items in Shopify to add to Avalara. Save your changes. Your new configuration settings are applied when you activate the connector. Back in Shopify, select Activate Avalara Tax Compliance. Now that your connector is activated, review where your items are mapped to Avalara tax codes. If you map them in Shopify, you won't be able to do that with your new connector. You'll need to map in Avalara or another business application. To learn more, take Map What You Sell to Avalara Tax Codes in our AvaTax training. As your last step, be sure to create test transactions to ensure everything is working as expected. If your Shopify transactions appear in your Avalara account, but the tax amounts aren't what you expect, you need to troubleshoot your transactions to find the source of the problem. To learn more, take Review and Troubleshoot Your Tax Amount lesson in our AvaTax training.
All right, Prashant, back to you.
Yeah, so hopefully that helped give the picture. We have kept it very simple, lean, and we are constantly working to update, the experience. Overall, we have kept very minimal settings as part of this. We don't want to overwhelm our merchants with, too many complexities over there, and leverage as much of their Avalara settings as possible and maintain those as we go ahead. So that's the core goal that we are trying to achieve over here as well. All right, so that marks the end for this update. Hopefully, we will have more in the subsequent quarters. As next steps, please contact your strategic alliance manager or your Avalara partner contact about Avalara for Shopify for your customers. And happy to answer any questions in the Q&A that may be pertaining to the product functionality or features.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Prashant. There were just a couple that came in, so maybe we can take a few minutes to go over those before we dive into the next section. Can you talk about, does the new integration support international tax calculations?
Definitely, it does support international tax calculations. You just need to configure those as Nexus within Shopify, within Avalara. My bad, Avalara.
Got it. Okay. And then, do you have to have Shopify Plus to use the new integration?
No, you do not need to have Shopify Plus to use the integration.
Okay, wonderful. And then you covered this a little bit, but can you review again, how do customers that are using the legacy app switch over to the new one? What would be the best way for them to get started?
So the best way for them to get started, some of them might already see an alert on top of their Shopify, within the taxes and duties section that we just saw. So what we saw was more of the launch experience where if nobody has that application, they do not get to see it. So they will get to see a new alert up there that shows that they need to update the application. Following through those update steps will be a good way. If customers need to read in advance, we have handy documentation that is available that can be provided to you by either your sales contacts or your CAMs or TAMs for that. So there we have a migration guide also handily available where we present all these in the minimal number of steps to switch over from the legacy app to the new app.
Okay. And then I have seen there were a few more questions that just came in. One of them, does the new integration resolve the need to repair transactions where credits or refunds are issued? Any thoughts on that one?
So the new integration actually captures a lot more of the order changes. So Avalara only captures the orders when they are partially fulfilled, completely fulfilled, and if there are refunds. So those things keep happening constantly in the background. So as soon as some such event happens, Avatax will be updated. So I believe that's what this is referring to. In case there are any refunds that happen later and they were not reflected correctly in the legacy app, this app does improve upon that to capture those refund as separate documents as well within Avatax.
Okay. Great. And what about this one? Do products need to be remapped if they're already syncing with Avalara?
So I think this pertains again to the previous application. In the previous application, there was an option to go ahead and present your, put in your Avalara tax codes over there, for which many customers may have taken time and effort to map those products. So for those customers, if you already have products tax codes mapped in Shopify, we are pulling them as part of the item sync. So the product sync, item sync that I mentioned, the product catalog sync will definitely pull those items along. Only point to note is that field is a Shopify field and will only exist till the time the legacy application is within your Shopify store. And once it is uninstalled, it will be gone. We are working towards an update where we can give an equivalent field if you install the new application. However, in the short term, if you have anything mapped on Shopify, don't worry, it will be synced over to Avalara and your tax codes will continue to apply as is.
Okay, great. And then last one, and then I think we can move forward. Do customers that were on the legacy app need to purchase a new Avalara product to switch to the new integration?
Yes, they do need to switch. They do need to purchase this as a separate application. As mentioned, that this is built and sold by Avalara. The previous application was where you might have contracted with Shopify for the application. So you would have to enter into, purchase this from Avalara and then move over. But rest of the things, your Avalara settings, your Avalara login, etc., will remain the same.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Prashant. So we do have some time for additional questions near the end, but let's go ahead and move forward into our next section, which is Managed Returns for Accountants and the Economic Nexus Report. Melissa, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking some time today. This section is specifically for our products in the accountant segment or accountant partners, namely Managed Returns for Accountants, as well as our Avalara Returns for Accountants. You may also know these by MRA or ARA. And yes, we're excited to talk today about our new feature, which is the Economic Nexus Heat Report that we've launched in our Returns console. So that would be the software for both platforms. So what this is a way of being able to get a pulse on your clients and if they're going to meet thresholds for Economic Nexus, meaning you have to get them registered in states. We've had this feature in your clients' Avatax portals for a little bit now, and we've realized this would be a crucial feature for accountants to get ahead of their clients' needs coming up. So we've put this into the product. In your Returns console, you'll be able to find this feature under Filing Calendars. It is a new drop-down listing that you'll find right at the end there called Economic Nexus Report. And what does this look like? So when we jump into that filing calendar area, you'll see this lovely Economic Nexus Report. And there's two parts to this report. One is the color-coded map schema here, and it really showcases 4 areas. So in our heat map key, if states are red, like I see here, I have a client where Nexus has been met, but they are not registered. So that means that they need to go get registered. This could be a service that your firm offers, or if you need, Avalara can help you out. And because they've triggered their economic nexus thresholds. If you see a state light up green, that means they've triggered economic nexus and they are registered. So everything is good. That client is good in that state. If you see a state light up yellow, that means that they are 80% of the way to that threshold. Now, whether this is the dollar amount or the transaction amount, we will indicate that in the table below. And the last one is gray. No significant economic threshold has been met. So not to 80%. They may be doing some transactions there, but really it's a state that you do not need to worry about for that client. You can filter per client. So this isn't a holistic view, it's a per client view, because obviously that would be a lot of red mapping up and you'd have to go searching for the client. So underneath on the side, on your left-hand panel there, you'll see company name, and that's how you toggle between your clients to see what their thresholds are and what their nexus health is, economic nexus health. What you'll see an arrow there now pointing down to the table. This is something we didn't expose in the client area, only because that's a lot of data to ingest. But we want to make sure you, the accountants, had this data so that you could better talk to your clients about what thresholds mean, what they're actually approaching. And if it's in a state that's either a threshold or a dollar amount, so a transaction number or a dollar number, you could speak more clearly to that. Now, there are 3 things to really take a map with this map. It is only as good as the data that is being ingested into your returns console. So what that means is a lot of people have, well, you have 3 ways of ingesting data into returns console or managed returns for accountants. Your client could have Avatax and you could use that connector. That's a real-time sync and we're getting that transaction data live. The next way is if you're using one of our 5 extractors. So if you're using an extractor today to extract that data in, that means about once a week we are updating that data to show this map and that transaction volumes that's happening there. The last way, and the way that is most popular, is through batch or that Excel document upload, which means the information is only as current as the batch load you did last. So really be cognizant of that as you view this data and that lens you're looking at for your clients. Now, the other part of this is if you've put in that filing calendar or if you put in the registration. What that means is we can only say it's red or green if we know that the client is registered there. So sometimes a client may show red, and that just means but you know they're registered in that state. That means in the Avalara system or your returns console, you haven't put that filing calendar in for many reasons. Maybe it's being managed in a way that is outside there. Maybe you know there's a certain specialty to that. They have ECM or they have some other rule going on. That's to be cognizant of. So the data is as good as the data you put in. But this map really gives a good health pulse. So let's go to this table. That's where we want to make this really powerful. You'll have access to a breadth of different columns. So we go through the states. We'll tell you if the threshold in column 3 simply is met, approaching, or not there. So we'll pull that data out for you and you'll be able to quickly scan, okay, met here, approaching here. We'll tell you the trigger type. So is it through sales, is it through dollar, or is it through both? And then we'll go into the threshold timeframes to tell you where we're populating that data from. The rest of it is purely transactional data volume. So the thresholds, the total sales amounts, all of that, so you can really best indicate to your client what the data is going through. This feature is live, and if you'd like to see a little bit more of it, I encourage you to reach out to your account managers or whoever you purchase this product from, and they'll be able to give you some more updates. Before I jump into coming soon for all partners, and this isn't account specific, Courtney, are there any questions?
I don't see any yet. There might be a few that come in a little bit later. So I would say let's go ahead and cover off on coming soon, and then we can check back in.
Yeah, fully. Also, sometimes as a Canadian, I talk a little fast. So, it can happen that if you have questions later for this feature, please let me know. But yeah, let's jump into coming soon. So for our Q1 launches, we have a few, and we're really excited to show them to you today. So our first one is Avalara Tax Content for Managers, or an acronym you might hear me say today is ATC for Managers. This is our latest launch under the Intelligent Content Management umbrella. And what it is it provides tax content to businesses that prefer offline tax calculation methods for industries outside of lodging and brick and mortar retail. So these businesses will have access to expertly researched and regularly updated lodging tax content, providing uniformity and increased accuracy across their locations. Next, a partner-built integration. This will be Acumatica ELR. So our longtime partner is launching e-invoicing and live reporting to help facilitate the growing mandates in 60 countries. This is a key product to stay tax compliant in an ever-growing and changing landscape. So for those of you who are aware of our ELR product, we're just bringing all those capabilities to Acumatica. We will also be doing this with a few Avalara built integrations for ELR. So these platforms include Microsoft Dynamics, WooCommerce, and Adobe Commerce. These will be coming in the new year in Q1. Another one, we've updated Avalara VAT reporting. So with these updates, Avalara now supports automatic extraction of VAT and GST data from our core tax calculation products, AvaTax, directly into Avalara VAT reporting systems. So this will cut down on manual data entry and minimize errors. And lastly, I want to talk about Avalara license filing subscription, which is a launch again coming up in Q1. That's this section. Why am I repeating that? This will provide license filing needs throughout the year on a subscription basis, allowing for you to manage, produce, and change business license as needed. All of these, again, will be coming. You can check with your ASE, or if so, make sure you're subscribed to our partner newsletter to learn more about the latest and greatest product and partner updates from Avalara. So Courtney, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa and Prashant. Next up, that is actually the end of our regularly scheduled programming. So we do have a final poll question up on the screen right now. So if you'd like any additional information about anything that we covered today, or would just like a follow-up from Avalara to talk through anything, go ahead and select yes in this poll question. That will prioritize you for follow-up, as you should hear back from someone at Avalara shortly. And if not, that's also fine. Go ahead and select no. We're going to leave this up on your screen just for a couple of minutes while I take a look and see if there were any new questions that came in. Prashant, I think this one is for you. This goes back to Shopify. There was a question that came in shortly after we swapped over. So this person says, if your product code or codes remain in Shopify, will the product description show in the Avalara tax reports? And if not, how do you get them to show in both?
Definitely. So this is something I did answer to Thomas as well. So thank you for the question. So product tax codes, the data remaining within Shopify basically means that you can update it within Shopify, and then those updates are pulled over to Avalara. When you by description, we do pull over the descriptions as well, which is equivalent to the product title in Shopify. So we do pull over the item code, the product title, which is equivalent to the description on Avalara, and tax code if available or applicable. So we do pull those over, and if that's what you're looking for, definitely we already have that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Melissa, another question came in for you. Will the Avalara tax content for managers, is that limited to sales tax information, or does it also include other types of taxes like income tax?
At this time, it is limited, but subscribe to the newsletter. That one will give you the most updated, but at this time, I do believe it is limited. We can correct that in chat if I am wrong.
Okay, thank you. All right, let me go through this and just make sure that I haven't missed any questions. I don't believe I have. So if anyone does have any questions, go ahead and quickly get them in the chat. Otherwise, I think we can go ahead and wrap up. So Prashant or Melissa, any final thoughts, departing thoughts from either one of you?
So on my side, yeah, on behalf of me and my team, really looking forward to the new year. We have lots of exciting updates and planned, and also for many of our migrating customers, we want to give you a much better experience going forward, and we are looking forward to giving you far more exciting features as we head into 2025.
Agreed. I want to say thank you to all of our partners who attended today. We're really excited to always show you these new features and have a moment to showcase what we've been working on. I want to say happy holidays to everyone, and I look forward again to presenting more what's coming soon in next year, 2025.
Absolutely. Prashant and Melissa, thank you for being here and for going through all of this great information. And for all of you attending, thank you again for spending some time with us. Hopefully you got some new great information about what Avalara is going to be offering you and your clients. And like Prashant and Melissa both said, be sure to stay tuned via the partner newsletter for any updates. And we will continue to do these webinars as well to keep you up to speed on what's going on with our product updates. Just a final reminder, we did record today's session, so if you missed my little note at the beginning, you will receive a link to this recording, so be on the lookout for that in case you missed anything, would like to listen to it again, or in case you'd like to share it with a colleague. So thank you so much, everyone. Happy holidays, and we'll see you for our next webinar.